I wanted to remake this video because my last video was kind of messed up and I kept getting interrupted. But this is my response video to the backlash that an African feminist is going through. Um, to me, it's really funny because with feminism, we keep hearing that everybody is inclusive, everybody's is is granted free speech or free thought. But once you think outside of the hive mentality, you're attacked. And this is why I never got into feminism. I never became a feminist, was because, it has no interest in me. And once you don't agree with these people, they attack you. And the issue even more is that you cannot disagree with them if you're black. And this is why a lot of these so-called black feminists have to be super liberal. This is why these black feminists are always tokens. They're always trying to be super inclusive, and they are just like dead set, on their ways. They have to be super inclusive. They have to include everybody. While white feminists, they're allowed to be deceptive. It's pretty much open, and it's pretty much accepted that white feminists cannot be trusted, or they have an agenda. It's accepted. Once we hear like a white feminist saying something stupid or racist, it's acceptable in the feminist community. But you notice you never hear a lot of backlash with black feminists on their opinions. And this backlash with the African feminist is very telling because this is the hive mentality being split apart. And we've reached an era to where we're losing common sense. We're losing the ability to tell the difference between something as simple as boy or girl. And now we're lying to ourselves and talking about, well, femininity is not based off of the Eurocentric, European, Judeo-Christian theology. In African and Polynesian cultures, gender is fluid, and we can do whatever, and you can identify as whatever. You choose your gender. Biology is nothing and is meaningless. Women can be men, and men can be women, and it's all about how you see yourself. It's about self-description and self-identity, and you cannot take that away from me because I'm a feminist, and it's my right, and you're gaslighting my ideology, and it just goes on and on and on about complete nonsense. This is why I don't take them seriously. And black feminists, they have to be super liberal to the point that they cannot disagree. But you will see in the future that a lot of these liberal black women, feminists, or black women in general, a lot of them are going to become conservative, and it's really because the liberalism isn't working. Trying to get black men into feminism isn't working, and when they do become feminists, you're still dealing with the same problem because now they're using feminist ideology to justify their fuckery. A black man can say, "Oh well, I'm not going to get a job because in Bell Hook's book, she talks about the black man working is me being emasculated by the white man, and I don't need to work for the white man. I can do whatever I want here, and as long as I'm not working, I'm defying the system. I am not they do all that dumb shit." And so they can justify. They can they can talk their way out of shit. You know, and that's the problem with feminism. They dig their own grave, and with men on it's even worse. And that's why I didn't like the Grapevine video with the all women panel, because you know what that alarm was. But anyways, like I said before, I didn't like that all women's panel in the Grapevine, because you're seeing a circular argument to where women want gender equality, and they're pretending they want the same opportunities, and then at the same time they're talking about, why aren't black men doing this? Why aren't black men stepping up? And they also talk about they're raising their kids to be gender neutral, or fuck gender roles, and then they're going to be mad in the future talking about, why isn't my son taking the initiative to be a leader or be a man? He's just sitting back waiting for me to tell him what to do, and he's not stepping up. This is something that they're going to run into. And so, I'm surprised that they're even mad about, black men not doing this, and it's like, what's the point? You know, it's going to be a circular argument. And that African feminist, even though it was taken out of context on what she said, trans women do not go through the same thing as women. And there is a privilege that trans women have that black women don't have, like the whole gay agenda. We see these transsexuals being pushed, like Laverne Cox being pushed out into the media as this beautiful black woman. And I remember, like, years ago, I think like 3 years ago, in the red carpet, the Grammys or something, and I remember a black reporter came to Laverne Cox, and he was like, "Your dress is beautiful. You're a beautiful woman." And then my mom was like, "What? That's a man. That's not a woman." See, and what that does is that it discredits black women, and it makes black women look bad, because now black women are at limbo, because they're hit 1 minute talking about they're manly, aggressive, or they have more testosterone, and then you see like these trans women who almost look like women, and it's like now you're confused, because it's like, wait a minute, she looks too real. And it creates that confusion of, I don't know. I don't know what a black woman looks like, because you have these freaking, transsexuals running amok, talking about, they're women, or whatever. But man, it literally makes no sense, man. It makes no sense that we can't even freaking tell what a woman looks like. And I was looking at a project that a black woman is doing, and it's for representation for black women, and she messes me up, because what she's doing is that she's being inclusive, and then she ends up being too inclusive. And what I mean by that is that she includes transsexual women. And I was like, oh, damn, why did you do that? Like, why do you have to include transsexual women into the mix? Like, there's plenty of gay platforms out there. And I'm really tired that black women have to share the spotlight with white women, or with other people of color or with gays. And it's like you guys need your own spotlight. Stop trying to be super liberal and trying to, tell black men that, oh, these transsexuals, they're just as womanly as us. They're just like us. And it's like, the thing is, what's funny is that they're just like us until it's the picking time, as Sarge would say. You know, what I mean by is, if let's just say hypothetically, black men were into dating transsexual women as much as black men were into light skinned women. Just replace the stereotypes and the colorism that black men have with light skinned women and replace that with transsexual. Let's just say black men have a a man struck, they're man struck or trans struck or whatever, and they love trans women because they don't get pregnant, they look more feminine or whatever. Black women will feel some type of way, and they'll be like, what's wrong with us? And then when we explain to them, well, oh, they suck dick better, or just we throw some gay shit out there. We're just pretending here. It's a sick fantasy, but we're just pretending here. And if black men said all that dumb shit, black women would be looking at black men like fucking idiots. Black women don't stand for that dumb shit. They don't stand for it, man. If black men ever get to that extreme, black women would easily denounce the gay community. They would easily denounce it. But, dudes aren't going to be that open to transsexuals, and we'll never get to a point to where like dudes are that into them. But I'm just just saying that it would be obvious if black men were saying the dumb shit that we would say about light skinned women. If straight dudes were trying to explain that transsexuals are just the same as real women, they would be in a fit. They would be in a fit. But we're not at that point, and we really don't need to. So they're not gonna see it. But I don't want to make this video too long, so I'll end it here.